Alright, dudes, a continuation from yesterday as far as some Tampa 2 talk and how I like to play it, and I'm going to talk about today against trips, bunch sets, well, trips and a bunch sets, and against multiple vertical threats. And in this situation here, you see that trips bunch set, and usually what's going to be coming there? The Seattle, vertical on the solo side, and, you know, streak route there, a outside release streak, and a wheel by one of these two guys. So you're gonna have four vertical threats more often than not. He does not run the Seattle in this situation though. This is third and 18. Line of scrimmage is at 25. You see where the sticks are around the 41, 42 yard line. I'm in dime. I'm controlling the slot defender. There's Mr. Willis. He'll be hot rod to the deep blue. And I'm looking as a slot defender here. The first inside vertical threat, number 2, counting from the outside, counting outside in. I see number 2 release vertical. I'm going to bracket that until I feel confident that Willis and my safety and me here have done enough to move him off of that target. Now Eric Weddle is there if he tries to force that in there. So now once I recognize that, I'm going to look back to the curl and he's going to force it right to me. And why does he do that? Because this is what you have to play Tampa 2. You got to have the ability to generate pressure with 4. In the MUT world, it's a little bit harder to do because so many people have these outrageous offensive lines now. But here, Robert Quinn does a little rip, gets off, gets in Warren Moon's face. Sorry I had to do that to you, Warren, but, you had to take the L in this play, and I get the INT. Watch how deep Willis gets. And again, I bracket that slot until I feel like, I've obstructed him from going there. And then I look to peel back. Okay, so how do we deal with the dreaded 4 verts out of an empty set or a trip set? Tampa 2 is all well and good. You have 3 deep, but what if you have 4 guys running deep? Because the hook zones are not going to always drop back to a far enough depth when on the inside corners for those inside streaks to prevent you from getting busted up the seam. So my solution to that, well, there's a couple of things that you can do. Let me show you what I do here. You see me in red. I am controlling the corner, the slot corner on the trip side, and I'm reading number 2 first, going right to left. I'm always going to pay attention to number 2, see what he's doing. If he's releasing vertical, I take him man to man. And I am man aligned here, so everyone is manned up or aligned on their man, so it looks like 2 man under. And I failed to sub in Vilma here in the dime. This is an online ranked game. I have Curtis Lofton on the field. And he actually converts this 4th and 7. I was up something like 23-7 late in the game, and I'm just trying to make him go the long field. But he has to make a really difficult throw, and he gets a really difficult catch in order to convert it. And that's really all you can ask. You just want to make things as tough on these guys as possible. So at a snap of the ball, let's start out left to right. You get a really good drop here by this corner. He sinks to a nice depth to really squeeze down and obstruct that sideline streak, which is exactly what you want. It allows the safety here to play in between these two vertical threats, because my slot corner on this side also does a really excellent job of sinking to an appropriate depth to obstruct that slot seam. That's beautiful. About 15 yards almost. That's great. As opposed to sometimes they drop back a lot more shallow. Now, remember I was telling you guys about the hash, and sometimes you have a distorted drop by the outside corners. This is what I mean. The drop here on this side isn't nearly as good. You see how he's drifting back? Man align helps to minimize that, but because at least he's gaining some depth, and you have the safety there who can, cut that down. But at least he's getting some depth as he drifts back, as opposed to just, going like this, which sometimes happens. Here's me reading number 2. And Lofton does a nice job in his hot routed blue zone trying to run with Jermaine Gresham, and this is where he tries to go. Cameron Jordan is really, really good. He almost gets there, but not quite. I really should put in, what's his name, Gillette on this side as well when I go 4DE out of the dime, if I'm going to have customarily Vilma here, but, I digress. But look at the throw he's forced to make, and he needs a layout from Gresham with two guys converging to convert this. I mean, that's all you can ask for. Sometimes a guy's going to make a great play. You just got to suck it up and move on to the next play, and don't be one of these, babies in the YouTube world, mainly in the so-called sim community world, who complains every time sometimes something goes against them in a game. Guys allowed to make a great play made one. You had two guys converging, and, bang, bang. That's not going to happen very often. But you see, he doesn't really have an attractive place to go with the ball. I mean, maybe here, but ball's released now, and the safety will converge on that when the ball's in the air. And nothing on this side. I mean, you can't really ask much better than that. And again, if you're not really comfortable manning up or running with the slots yourself, you can always hot route one of them to play man-to-man, and you can either control the safety, the linebacker, or if you're not comfortable there and you want to control the defensive line, just make sure you have one of those slot threats hot routed man-to-man, and that can work as well. This is the way I like to play. I like to have to rush do their thing, and me take away where he wants to go first, because chances are he's looking to the seams first before he goes outside. Just a bang-bang play there. More often than not, he's not going to get that play. So as you see here, I won this game 23-15, and I held him to 50% completion percentage. The thing that I've noticed in these online games this year is that if you can just get these guys out of these pistol strong power runs, guys have been using these runs, these overpowered runs out of the pistol as their crutch all year long. And from what I can see, what I've observed, if you can get them out of that, they're out of their comfort zone when it comes to throwing the football. So you're not going to shut down those pistol strong runs completely. You're not going to do it. Though they're just insanely effective runs. But you just want to prevent yourself from getting gashed. If you can make them have to take 4 yards here and there, 5 yards here and there, the typical online player is not going to be patient enough. They want that big play, so they're going to get out of that when they see that you know how to control it a little bit, and then you can start springing, all kinds of wonderful stuff on them and get them to throw INTs. So that is that for this little Tampa 2 excursion. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will have another breakdown of an NFL defense. I did the Seattle Seahawks, which you guys seem to really enjoy, and I'm going to do the Carolina Panthers next. Takes a little bit of time to do those things, but I'll have that in the next couple of days for you guys. I'll also do some for offense as well, of course. So, hope you guys enjoyed this stuff. I'll talk to you all later. Peace.